Ai, koe iara ia ko te iri taurunga tū, taurunga pai, taurunga mā tika tika, taurunga mā rangaranga, ika mā matike maranga mōrena. And welcome to round 2 of the PTL Series 2020. My name is Te Aorere Pewhairangi, and joining me in the commentary booth today is Jean Marsh, coach of our open women's side, and we have a big game coming up e hoa, 07 Heat versus Metro.
We sure do, kia ora te ao. So it's going to be a good game today between 07 and Heat. 07 Heat, sorry, and Metro. Metro is a nice young team, and 07 have got quite a few experienced girls in there, so it'll be a little bit battle of the coaches, I think, in this one, te ao. So it'll be a good game to watch, and the pitch is ready to go for the day.
Tika tonu as we see our two lineups. E hoa, who are your picks for this one to watch out for?
07 Heat last week's standout was Morgan Morrow, without a doubt. She was quite high in the pickings last week, and Metro have got Isla Norman Bell in number 2, so she'll be someone to look out for with the coaching staff of the 07 Heat.
So we see Metro here running right to left. They get the first set of this round. We see them with a 32 pick here, coming over to this left hand side. They got numbers out wide to the left here. Nice defence there.
Good start there from 07 Heat. They'll look to use their boxer here to get them out and get some fresh legs on.
So we see a good start from the 07 Heat. Some nice defence to shut off that first set. Transitioning nicely here into some yards, and they receive a penalty off the back of it.
Yeah, and that's something that both teams will look to sort out this week, Tao. It's quite new, the rulings that everyone's getting used to. So the 7 metre is a big game changer, especially down on what we used to call the 5. So lots of penalties for offside or for being offside, and it's what we do with them next that'll matter. And just like that, 07, long ball over the top and finish off in a touchdown in the corner there.
Yeah, it's nice there. Nice little play there by the 07 Heat, as we see a little dingo play just coming down the lane there, and a beautiful right to left over the top. And they went from a good defensive set into some good yards. Finished nicely there. We see Metro with their second set of the game coming down, and as you mentioned, that 7 metres, it's a huge rule change. As we know, these girls would have only played grown up with the 5 metre, so the muscle memory there, they're going to have to change how they attack and defend the line.
Yeah, for sure, Tao, and a lot of it's just finding strategies to work around what the new rulings are, and then getting an understanding of what the rulings are, and we're in the same boat as the referees. They're learning what the new rulings are as well. So once we have a fiddle around and get to know what our boundaries are, we'll be able to nullify more of a successful structure around that 7 metre mark.
Yeah, tika tonu, and one thing I did notice from the round, the first round, it really opens up the game. As we see 07 Heat here with some fresh legs on there. Looking at this 4th play for Scoop. They go to the left-hand edge.
It's a nice little scoop there from number 2, Amani. But that was well set up there by Reese. Reese did a nice little drive for Amani there, and then followed through with some support play. So she's been playing quite well. She was also good last week for 07 Heat. I think she came on the Sunday. So Reese Anderson there. Nice little set up, and then a follow through to support her scoop line runner.
Yeah, and that just comes off the back of some good yards. Nice roll through the orange zone. So 07 Heat go up 2-0 early on here. See Metro still finding their feet.
Yeah, and they are a nice young team, Metro are, so they're going to be lots of learnings for them here at PTL as well. And then they've got a good mix of Cody there with the open mixed team, so she'll be looking to lead her team out there again today alongside Ruhia. Picking in there at number 4. Nice little line run there by Rue. And then a good finish there by Crash in the corner. And she's always been a solid team player, Crash here. She's always done her role really well. So a great little scoop there by Rue. Nice long ball, left to right. Crash finishing in the corner.
Yeah, it's a nice play there. A good response by this Metro women's side. So we see 07 Heat. They're back on attack here. Just take a couple settle plays. And I also noticed the new 3 penalty rule on the 7 metre as they receive a penalty. Can you explain to us what that new ruling is?
Yeah, so it's almost like three shots and you're out a little bit there, Tal. So what the referees are trying to do is open up the game and make sure that basically the defenders are pushing out with the intent to make a touch, so that there's no one left stuck back on the line, and it plays for so much more of a great attacking game. Defensively, it's a lot of hard work. Great touchdown there in the corner there from 07, but that looked like a forward pass, I think it was. So yeah, and once you get 3 infringements down there, there is a little corner box that you'll be asked to go to, and that'll be the last person that infringes on that 3 sets of.
Okay, so the defence
yep.
don't get to choose who
they're
sending to the side?
So it could be, well, there was a bit of a fumble there. Imogen won't be happy with that one. She's quite strong in that ruck area as well, so she'll look to get out there and put some pressure back in on that area. But once they get in there, then that's pretty much a 6-on-5 scenario, and they will stay in there until that set is completed. And I guess now we'll look to make that a part of the game plan as well, so you'd start learning how to attack with
against 5.
Yeah,
Sometimes
absolutely.
It's a bit staggered.
Absolutely, you kind of get a little bit confused as who's meant to make the touch here and where are they going to go next. With 5, it's a little bit different. It's almost like every man for himself, and then hopefully someone comes to help you kind of game.
Yeah.
So you'll look to structure that 5-on-6 style as well.
Yep.
Again, I think that was Reese there. She's going to have a nice, good day today on this dry pitch. She's got quick, agile footwork. And Morgan Morrow with the little pick, and she's just hunting for who's shutting, who's not coming, who's allowing to make the touch on her. And with someone like Morgan, you really want to not allow her time with the ball. The longer she gets time on the ball, the longer she's going to have an option to pass, and she can pass left, right, short, long, as we just seen.
Absolutely, and this dry weather and this dry pitch will allow these gun players to express themselves today. It was a little bit wet round 1, but round 2, yeah, it's a nice pitch, and there's a bit of a wind going from this end of the field over to the other, so you see that right to left from 07 Heat. They've thrown it a couple of times here, so we'll look to see if Metro will throw that left to right. They come down the lane again, they give the wrap. Nice
sorry, I
shot
apologise, that was Rebecca, not Rue. They similar style in the way that they run, so that was Rebecca number 4 coming through with that scoop, and Rue's out in the link arena there. So she again, she's drafted into this Metro side, I think from, I could be wrong, Wanganui is I think when I saw her playing schools anyway there, and she's a great talent to come into this Metro side. She's young herself, but she's got enough skill to be able to develop some of these young players as well.
So we see a nice left to right
nice
there.
Left to right.
And they're looking for that inside check there,
yep.
which is quite common on that chase out with our wingers.
Yes, and it's good to see the girls being aware of looking for that now. You know, it's not the old let's get touched and find something else. They're looking for what's next and what else is on offer. Great touchdown there from 07 Heat.
Yeah, I'm liking the way they're going up the field here. They're just chewing up the meters, and they're putting in a striking play on the end of it. As we see, yeah, she came around the winger, and it creates space.
That was Nikki Crombie in at 13 too, and she had another standout performance last week again for the 07 Heat. When she's on the ball, she's got a great pick line, and she'll run at the body and then find some space a little bit later. So she's a great scooper to have on the back end of a good setter. Great listening there, Cody. Little bit of a jinx there on number 11 in the 07 Heat, and again with the rulings, Tal, it's a little bit, you think you're on, you're not on, you feel like you've come back more than you're used to coming back.
Yeah.
So once we get the distance there too, but again, Cody's footwork there with the stand up was pretty good. So well done there, Codes.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. These players would have grown up only ever playing 5 meters, and you see they go back there 5 meters without looking. They know where the line is, but now with that extra 2 meters, is it 2 extra steps, is it 3 or 4 extra steps?
Absolutely.
So they're still adapting to this new style and these new rules, but it's really opening up the space.
Yeah, it is opening up the space, and you see there once the penalty is awarded, a little while ago too, we were allowed access to a quick tap if we were on the mark and then quickly get in there and try and score behind a defender that was still maybe possibly talking about the penalty that just happened. That's kind of been stripped away a little bit more now, so you're going to have to wait and reset for the line to be set for you to tap the ball.
Okay.
So you do have the luxury there on defence that you might get away with a bit more yarns than you used to.
Yeah. I know a few players who will enjoy that new rule. Well, we see 07 Heat here. They look to extend their lead. They come to the short side.
That's good there. Good D there from Metro. Rebecca Tamati in the middle there, standing quite square and making sure once she turns shoulders, everyone comes in and assists to help her there. But she stood quite square in her defensive lines, which mean everyone else could square up as well.
So we see this Metro side, they have some fresh legs on the field. They have a nice roll on.
It's Imogen there at number 5, dumping for her sister, I think it is.
Oh, unlucky there.
Again, Cody's the perfect person to have down here on the 7-metre mark. You got Kairarangi working with her. Again, she's a nice little quickie player too. So she'll look to just attack the line, and that's okay on touch 1 and 2. We want, to sneak in what we can. And again, it's a little bit different trying to score a quickie on the 7 than it was on the 5. You've got a lot less travel to work with, but the defence have now got a lot more room to be able to man on that a lot more and put pressure on that quickie player. So this is Imogen here at number 5, just looking to see if there's a little gap that she can sneak into.
Good play here from Metro in these first touches. Just some low percentage plays. We see this backdoor down the short side there. It's Cody again.
Yeah, great structure there from Cody. She's really working hard and making sure that she assists all her troops and getting in the right plays, and she's actually running plays that they're aware of. So they are young, and that's the best medicine for them to be pushed around the field like that by someone like Cody. And they have no idea who they're playing against. They're out there playing touch. So once they get a little bit more of a taste of where they're going to be good with those sweet plays that Cody's trying to run.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see 07 Heat here, they get a penalty. So it's invited them into the attacking zone. They have some fresh legs out there.
Number 9 there for 07 Heat, Ariona. She's a great setter in there. So she's perfect long ball there.
Nikki Crombie, was it?
I wouldn't be surprised. She did that all last week.
Yeah, coming down the lane
Yep.
there. Nice right foot step.
For sure, Nikki Crombie. Well done, Nikki. Good finish there by a winger.
Yeah, that's the third time that they've gone to that right to left long ball. As we see the wind through those flags, it's going across the face of the field. So we see Metro back on the attack here.
Nice to see number 1 Jade, here for Metro. She was on the wing, and she was quite standout on the wing for Metro last week, but she's earned her spot in the Link Arena, it looks to see. So that's a good bonus for her to have a feel of both lines. Great little scoop there. Number 12 from our Metro Women's, Joshua Jones. And 07 look to put this yardage play on here. Mary in at number 11 for the 07 Heat. Just lost control there by Amani, getting ready to set up there for Resetter to come through on the back end.
Yeah, and as we look into these last few minutes of the first half, Metro will look to hit back before half time. Look to close this gap down to 2. Get a bow on this link here. They'll look to open the field. And it's their main striker again, Cody in there. She'll look to get her hands on the ball. Come to the 32 loop.
Great defence there from 07 Heat. She didn't stand there and wait, and again that's what Cody's waiting for, is a little bit of time on the ball to pick her pass. So she stepped up into Cody's lane, which forced Cody to release earlier than Cody would have liked to. Here comes Ariona here. Nice little check off there to Nikki. Wing away in the corner. Great chase down. Touchdown, 07 Heat.
Yeah, and that's just nice eyes up footy there. They're not looking to go to a set structure. They're just seeing what the defence is presenting. See a bit of space on that far side and they go to it. That's smart football.
That's smart football. And I see Metro are out without their star player Isla Norbabel at the moment. So the girls are struggling a little bit just to get some get up. But with the coach that they have in there, they've got the newly appointed Touch Blacks Open Women's assistant coach, Latoya McIntyre, and she'll be just making sure that they get out there with lots of energy and making sure they complete sets and leaving it to their Codys and their Roos and their Lanis to kind of step up and run some plays. It is a big learning curve for these girls here, and they've probably got the best environment to be learning in.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity that this series provides for both men and women's grades. It's a mixture of our more experienced players who are playing in the open men's and the open women's with some young up-and-coming talent. So it exposes the young players to some high-quality touch early on in the season, and a nice chopping line there, but nice unfortunately...
Yeah, great little pocket play there from 07 Heat. Highland would have liked to be on the back end of that if she had her time again. I think she might have just set herself a little bit deeper because the play was quite good. Metro here will look to get out of their half nice and cleanly, complete the set here, get some fresh legs off, and Lani will look to come in here and control this. And what she's trying to do there is she's trying to get someone isolated defensively so that Cody could have come through and had a good pick there. I would have loved to see Lance check that one off to Cody.
Yeah, unfortunately their roll was a bit stunted on that fourth play there, so Cody couldn't get the clean scoop.
Good push up there from Jade, number 1 from the Metro. Number 2, Amani, off to Reese, who's just going to look to kick out. And again, using her pace a little bit there, Tal. Good touch there from our link Metro, number 16, Christopher Middleton. That's the Metro men's team list. The win's that good that it's come on and...
Yeah, and I like that play. I like that they're not just sticking to a rigid structure. They're seeing what the defense is presenting. Usually you take that touch, but nice little kick out there, and she was almost rewarded with a nice try. So we see Metro back on the ball here.
Sorry, that was number 16, Chelsea Sharp. 90, number 3 here for Metro. Look to take some control and get some new subbers on. Number 4 back to Rebecca. Into Rue. Rebecca and Rue working together here now. Nice little combo with these two. Nice little dive there from Rue. Number 12, Morgan Morrow with the touch there.
Yeah, we see these combos. A lot of these teams, the 07 Heat is a combination of players from Waikato, Bay of Plenty and Thames Valley. So we see little clicks, and even in this Metro team, a lot of them do play for Auckland, and Latoya being one of the stalwarts of this region. So we see some nice little combos there.
And you really get to see those how coming through in little plays and how long you've played with someone before, and they stand out quite a lot, the combos that you get. So 07 Heat would have a lot of those, and the Metro girls are probably just different in the age groups. They probably play around the same arenas, but just in different age groups. And like we mentioned, there's some girls in the under 16s grade in the Metro women's team, and I think there could possibly be one from the under 14s grade as well. So very, very young in talent, but what a great atmosphere for them to be around in.
Yeah, absolutely, and that'll come with time, building chemistry with new players and players at the elite level. You see some combos, players aren't even talking to each other. They see who's next to them, so they know this person's a striker, this person's got a right to left, or has a nice sweep as we see a second phase play.
Absolutely.
Down the left side there.
That was great defence there from the Metro side. A great lot of scramble defence there, but everyone pushing up and covering everyone. And I guess when you get into that state where you're unsure who's going where, again, we talked about the energy that Latoya will ask to bring to her team, and that's where it's going to come in quite handy, is when we're on the back heels a little bit and they just need to get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely, and I must commend Claudia. There was a nice shut there, which kind of disrupted a clean look on that 2-on-1. So she's been performing quite well. She's been in the touch scene for a few years now, so she's no newbie.
And that'll be a bit of a win there for the Metro team, holding 07 Heat out again, and then on the back end of that getting a penalty. So again, it's the small wins that we're looking for here for Metro, and I'm guessing that is exactly what Coach Latoya will be asking of her girls there going into halftime.
Yep, so we see the last play of this first half. Metro against the 07 Heat. They go up early, 6-2. So as you mentioned, this Metro side has a great coach in Latoya, new assistant coach for the open women's side. Going into this second half, what would she be saying in this halftime break?
I think she'll look to really focus on the things that they've done really well, and again, just probably in the set defensively that they've just exited with into halftime. More of that, more of the energy that's gonna come, which will start to pick up the lines. I get a little bit more direction in there from the likes of Lani, the likes of Rue, that can really start lining these girls up, attacking and going forward. Cody's had a good game here for the Metro team as well, so she's looking to really get involved and help out and assist where she can. And again, Claudia on the wing, she's been outstanding for them, finishing off and getting in and making some good saving touches as well.
And we see Cody there just capitalizing on these little new rules, 7 meters.
Yep.
And with the 07 Heat, not too much to work on.
07 Heat, I think Annie, the 07 Heat coach, she's had a lot of work through the Waikato grades, and she's brought an amazing amount of talent through. So she's kind of queen bee of developing. She brought her and her county's Waikato crew, they had brought 3 women's team to the Open Women's Nationals last year, which is an outstanding performance from the Waikato province, and in terms of our women's touch growing. So she's very good at doing the developing stages, and her girls aren't that young either, aren't that old either, sorry. They're a very young team also, but she's made them into characters where they don't look as young as they really are. So Annie has had great work working with the young ones. She's assisted also by Holly Graham. Holly Graham's a touch black in her day, and to be surrounded by 2 coaches like that, and you can see the girls just connect with them, with the things that Annie's wanting from her team. They're going out there and performing those. I think she'll want a bit more finesse. I think everything's going, and they're doing things, they're doing their structures, they're doing their plays, but they're just got no finesse on the back end of that. So I think she really would want them to tidy that up, get a little bit more deeper, and get a little bit more crisp on the catch and pass things.
Yeah, that's very true about the Waikato region, both the women's and men's. And you talked about the systems they have down there, and the young players there. Every year they're pumping out new players from Hamilton girls and Hamilton boys, so they're getting new talent and fresh talent year after year, and we see them siphon into these higher level teams.
Absolutely.
See a dingo play there, big dummy.
Yeah, and that's Morgan. She's always looking for someone that's not willing to touch her, and she'll really isolate players. Great defense there from Metro, kind of opening the gate for Morgan to pop through, but then recovering on the lateral line there. Great little run here from Jade for touch 1.
Yeah, this is a good start here from the Metro side to get that stop in that first attacking set. Get some nice yards up the field. They're on touch 3 here. Sorry, this could be 5.
Nice little pick there, an early release there from Imogen.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though they don't get a try on the back end of that, they kill the ball on the far end, which means this 07 Heat team has to come a long way to get some fresh legs on the playing field.
Nice little eyes up there from Highland, and again, that's knowing who you're playing with. The structured boxer, but there's a gate that's opened up, so they're looking to hit Ariana with the setting set there, and that was perfect there from 07 Heat, all the way from defence to transition to hopefully a completion here. And again, we had Ariana on the back end, just doing her role, nothing flash, nothing, not looking for the extra. Her job was to get in there and drive for Mani, and she did that to a T. Great little finish.
Yeah, absolutely, and I like that extra little check you mentioned on the yards, and that's good discipline, I guess, from Morgan. It's easy just to bail and just go straight to the sub box, but to present an extra option, just started that flow, and she made extra 10 meters.
And absolutely, it puts everyone back on the back foot, and Morgan would have called that. So communication, if we can get the communication up in the Metro team as well, they might be able to sneak a few of those little checks off. Great little play there, and great touch there from Te Ao Mihi, 07 Heat.
Yeah, that's good defence there by this 07 Heat side. They're rewarded with a penalty, so they'll look to come up the field here, get some fresh legs on, hope to go back to back.
Offside in there from the Metro team, and again, that's just 07 Heat creating that go forward. So when the Metro team is constantly running back, the referees are more likely to pull a penalty. Highland in the middle there for 07 Heat, working alongside Morgan Morrow. So they'll look to set something up here.
And it's the 3rd penalty in a row, and we've seen good discipline from both sides. We still haven't seen that new rule where players sent to the side.
Oh, great little right foot step there from Highland there, off her right. Oh, no touch there. Great little individual play there, and again, the defence is looking to get onside, but she's making the touch, just not making the line. Great footwork there from Highland, but we are looking to make the line and then get up and make that touch there.
And there's also a bit of a rule change around tracking and going backwards as well.
Yes, so you are able now to track, whereas deviate, or whatever you would call it, back then you weren't allowed to deviate. It was a penalty straight away, but with the 7 metre distance, they have allowed the toucher to deviate or track, just not infringe the player with the ball. So I guess if you come into body contact, that's going to be a bit of a penalty there. If you're just tracking the line to maybe chase on. So it is at referee's discretion, but I would suggest stay away from the body, just track the player. It's probably a lot safer that way than getting put in the bin. Great defensive set there from 07 Heat.
And that helps the defensive line. If someone's pulling a big corner and they go the other way, you're not having to keep going that same way. You can kind of come back to that short side.
Yep, and it allows the defender, again, to work more man-on with the player. It gives you more room and more time to be able to twist in and out when your attacker does that. So you're going to spend a lot more time defending man-on with your man. Great line there from Jade, number 1 in Metro.
And that's nice ball control and good patience there, not to throw the pass too early. She just held it, waited for that link to bite, and then just a nice little pop.
Good girl, Lani. Lani's been great in this game for the young girls here. She's really stepped up a level. I think she would still consider herself a young girl, and she probably is still a young girl, but she's really stepping up in this arena and assisting these younger players and calling the shots a little bit out there. So it's really good to see that from Lani. Nikki Heron at number 13. Great chase out there from the Metro.
As they try to Metro.
So we see 07 Heat.
7-3. 07 Heat.
Yeah, we come to this backdoor play. We haven't seen too many backdoors.
No. And Alicia, number 14 there for 07 Heat, she did run a good follow line there too, but I don't think Nikki noticed her in that way. But there's always opportunities when you get the sweeper plays to check back inside for that little short ball.
And I guess those little follow plays, those comes with that comes with experience,
Absolutely.
team chemistry, and knowing who you're playing with and who's next to you. So we see this Metro side to get some fresh legs on here. As we approach the final 10 minutes of this second half.
Lani and Rebecca here on the ball. It's a nice little short pick there from Rebecca, but again assisted by great defence from the 07 Heat. They'll look to box her out of here. Hopefully Metro don't give away a penalty here. They've been quite caught the last couple of plays with being offside in the central area, which has allowed 7 Heat to come through quite easily in their boxer play. Great little isolation run there from Mary, and picked up a penalty there, and I'm guessing that one's for offside as well.
Yeah, and those penalties for this Metro side are starting to creep in now, and it's really opening the doors, the floodgates for this 07 Heat side. You can't give them too many opportunities because they'll take them every single time, and it's back-to-back penalties. So this Metro team need to look at their discipline. One more and we'll see our first 5-on-6.
Yes, we will.
And how are they defending that? Is it one middle, 2 links and a winger, or?
Yes, so whoever, they're just going to have to slide defensively, and positions no longer becomes a point on the 5v6 towel. So you kind of just, you've got your man, but you're assisting with the outside men as well, and a great little dive there from Morgan Morrow.
So we see 07 Heat once again capitalise on these penalties, and it's just little offside plays through the transition area, and we see another nice dive there.
It's good to have Morgan back in the touch arena. She's been gallivanting around the world with sevens and doing her thing there, so it's actually good to have her back in the environment, and it'll be a perfect score there for the 07 Heat just to get that experience, and almost an old school type of player, but very adaptable to what's happening now.
That is a try.
Absolutely, and with this new 7 metre, she brings a lot of height.
Absolutely.
With her game. So that low game dives be really beneficial. So we see a quickie play.
Nice little interplay there. Kairarangi and Imogen, 2 sisters there. Might have been a good option there for Kairarangi to check back quickly to Imo, and she might have had a slide attempt in there, but they're going to have another go anyway with the follow play. Little bounce out on the follow. Great defence there by Amani, assisted by Reese and Ariona in the Heat. So Cody's coming now to change up a bit and change the point of attack with a sweep backdoor. Reese up to the task there on Cody. Good touch there by Reese Anderson. Cody Toti again looking to run the outside line. Amani picks her up, and 07 Heat will be back on their boxer. Shuffling out here.
It's some good defence there
really
by
good
this
defence.
07 Heat, and they're rewarded again with a penalty.
They're working working really well together. They have a connection, like you said, without having to communicate too much. There is a connection. If you go, I go, and sometimes even if you're going to the wrong place, if you go to the wrong place, the other person kind of has no other option but to go with you to assist you in that move. So the connection is really great on defence 07 Heat.
Yeah, and over time it just becomes intuitive. You know who the players who will just give you a hard yard, or who will usually skip out or look for a check. And we see some good chemistry in this 07 Heat side as they get a repeat set. No, was that
I think that was
penalty?
forward pass. This Metro team will really look to just start completing their sets and getting right to the back end and tidying up the little areas. Again, Jade's been hunting little lines here. She's been great for the Metro team today for such a young player. Rue here and Rebecca working again together. Late switch there. Great defence again by Alicia in the 07 Heat.
Yeah, so they're presenting a lot of different attacking options. This 07 Heat defence is up to the task, so we'll see a low percentage play here. Yeah, it's a forward off the ruck, is it? Side plant. Not too sure what to call there, but 07 Heat get out of jail there, and they're back to these nice yards we've seen in the second half.
Metro here really look to not get any penalties coming out of Heat's orange zone here. Highland will look to go on the outside. Quick step back into the inside. Great defence there by Sophia, I think it is. Yes, Sophia, number 20 from the Metro side. Number 10, Mia.
And as the New Zealand Open women's coach, we see these new rules coming in. How does that affect the international game?
So they are very new and very raw, and it shouldn't really change too much. If we have a good look at it, I guess it's just an extra 2 meters on what we're used to doing, and I think it's more the interpretations of what the new rulings are, and it's working with the referees to find out what they're actually looking for. Last week of the first PTL series, there was a lot of focus on the defence and the defence that wasn't around the area of where the ball was, the vicinity of the ball. So it's adjusting to what they're actually looking at and finding what we can work with. I think it is just the referees and working with a style that's going to suit the way that they're looking at the game now. Great hold there for Amani, number 2 in the 07 Heat side. And again, you get the luxury of holding like that when you have someone like Morgan Moore on the outside, and should be constantly talking to Amani and telling her where to go, where to come next, what she's going to do, who can help her. So when you have the luxuries of having a Morgan Moore as your link or as your assisting defender, you feel comfortable when you haven't even done anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw earlier in the previous set, she came in for a shut, but she didn't fully shut. She just stood there. She was in the lane. She was just waiting for her line to reset. So it's just these little things that come with experience, knowing when to touch, knowing when to hold off a little bit, and knowing when your inside player has recovered enough for you to
release. Yes,
to release out.
And again, you see this the stature of Morgan and Mary in the middle, the long, tall, both quickie players as well. So Metro got a lot to handle when it comes to Morgan and Mary that are setting up in the middle link area. And that's a key attribute of Morgan's game. She's very much got ball in 2 hands, always looking to offload, always looking to steal something. So with a player like her, you've just got to get up and get quite physical in the touch with her.
Yeah, and that height, it works on both ends of the field, especially with how we're defending now. We're getting links in the lane there. It shuts that pass over the top as well, as we see a nice, good hands there, just through the line.
number 17, Bridie Potts there. Great finish in the winger there. Ariona, good catch and pass. They looked a little bit in that set to go a lot more lateral, the 07 heat done, which is a good change up from having Morgan and Mary in the middle in that direct channel there. So that was a great little change up, and I'm guessing that's come from the box with Ani and Holly just trying to make sure that they utilize games like this to be able to play different styles and to try different things. Great listening there from Imogen.
Yeah, and that's the luxury they get with having this big lead. They can try some new combos, try some different plays that they've been practicing. So we see a scoop here.
Short side scoop there, I think from Rebecca, but Alicia, number 14 from the heat, was able to track her down, and everyone just stayed man on that side.
So we see this 07 heat side, yeah, must be an extra option in their yards play, that extra check. Just takes another 5 or 6 meters in the yards and sets them up nicely. Fifth hit.
It's offside. And again, it's the go forward that 07 heat have got on their Metro team, which causes them to just be backtracking, and it's very hard to backtrack, hit the line and then push up and make a touch. So going forward, 07 heat don't have much pressure on them because the defence is kind of either rolling back or standing still or offside.
Yep. And those are the little things that come with these new rule changes. Maybe if it was a 5 metre,
Yes.
you know, going back 5 meters, yeah, they would have been onside, but it's just that extra couple of steps that are,
You're adding another extra 2 meters to every touch. That's a good 10 meters at the end of the field that you got to run.
That's why we see the game open up, especially in that transition zone. Another beautiful right to left.
Nice Ruhia, nice ball from Ruhia. Claudia nearly on the back end of that, but that was forward pass anyway, called by our referees.
And that's just good awareness by both sides. We saw the 07 heat look to throw that right to left as well in the first half. It's usually people's players' preferred passing side, and they have the wind going that way, going across the face of the field at the moment. So we see more good yards here. Fifth tackle, they look to fifth touch, sorry.
Great set there. Nikki on the back end of that pick there off to Alicia. And Nikki was searching a couple of touches there for a breakdown in defence, and that's the experience of Nikki. She didn't overplay her hand. A set before she could have picked, but the defence was just a little bit still structured for her to take one more and then try and unstructure them on the back end. So her timing was perfect on that pick there.
So we've seen some classy plays by this 07 heat side. See Metro still looking to make some inroads here.
Yep, last 15 seconds, so they'll look to steal a quick little quickie there. Got number 14, Jasmine. Water ground there. Last set here for 07 heat, they'll look to just complete this game. Oh, there we go. This is Birdie Potts there. Good little clean out there from Metro.
Yeah, absolutely, and they chanced their arm there. 07 heat.
So hopefully not too much done in that last play there, because you'd like to rewind back time if it's caused any injury to anyone. So great game there from the 07 heat against Metro in our PTL first game for the women's round.
Sideline officials as we gear up for the next game of the
Yep,
day.
so we see 07 heat. They take out the first televised game of this second round
Firstly, introducing our match officials. Our three